Hello Dwayne, it's Marvin James. As you can see, I have here in my hand a lawnmower blade, and I am in the process of making a draw shave or a draw knife, and I'm going to make it out of this old lawnmower blade. As you can see by looking right here, there's 3 holes. I'm intending to fill those holes up with weld, and I'm going to put my handles on here at an angle, something like this, and I have cut the end of this blade off, and I'm going to aim to put them handles on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld a piece of rebar on each end, and then I'm going to turn some wood knobs to go on top of that rebar, and I'll probably put some epoxy. If not, I may heat it on the forge and actually pound it down to where there's a flat spot to keep the handles from coming off. But anyway, I'm hoping that I can turn this off and on and give you a little bit of view of some of the things that's going on here in Marvin's garage. Well, Dwayne, as you can see, my straightening process is just about finished. Got a little curve right there. This edge here actually looks pretty decent from both ways. But like I said, I've got a little curve. It's right in there, but I don't think that curve is going to hurt anything. Now, my next intention is to actually set the rebar that I'm going to put on here. I'm going to set the tips out here in the middle of the rebar, and then I'm going to bring this point right here to the lower edge of the rebar, so the rebar will it'll actually have just a little bit of stand to it, and that way your hands, when you're actually doing something and pulling that sharp edge to you, your hands won't be right down flat on the work. But anyway, and while I'm in the process, I want to show you something else that I've been working on. I actually made these a couple days ago, and as you can see, this one here has a pretty good nick out of it right there because I've already been using it. These are made out of that walnut that I've been using to make stuff, and this piece right here, this was all one piece. They actually, let me see, were butted together like so when I started cutting them on the lathe. But the wood is still, this wood is still wet. I just brought it in from outside a couple weeks ago. This one here, I thought, you know, for real tedious little work, that would be a really good one to have, just to kind of nub things along a little bit without really hitting it hard. This one here, like I said, I've tore some of the wood out of it, and I've been whacking pretty hard with it, and I'm actually intending to make one about that much bigger. The handle will be just a fuzz bigger, but the head of it will be quite a bit bigger and have a little more weight. Actually, I have back here in the corner, as you can see, I've got some cedar and some more walnut chunks and some things that I'm trying to get dried out. And over under my bandsaw over there, I actually have a chunk that's been drying since spring, and it's been under my bandsaw. But anyway, as I move along farther in the process with this right here, I will be turning it back on and giving you a few more minutes or a few more seconds of video and let you see. Well, Dwayne, it's the next day. As you can see, I have took my blade and I have welded 2 pieces of rebar on each side, and I welded the holes in. I was going to let you watch as I done the welding, but it just didn't work out like that. As you can tell, I've got a lot of stuff to grind off and everything to clean it up, but I am still working on it, and I hope that you get to see this video just here shortly in a day or two. While I'm thinking about it, I want to tell you that I the process is called rot, which means cold working of the metal. And this blade, I cold worked it, so I didn't put it in the forge to work it. And it's still not exactly straight. I'm gonna probably put it in my vise and finish straightening it a little more. But I'm gonna do that after I get some of this slag and stuff off here and get it cleaned up and looking pretty. But anyway, just wanted to share that. Hello again, Dwayne. This will be the last of the videos, and as I explained to you on the telephone, I kindly made some mistakes and my battery went dead on me and I didn't realize it. But I was gonna go step by step through this and show you what I was doing and how it was done. But anyway, here's what I have made. It's a draw shave, and I'm excited about it considering it's made out of a lawnmower blade, and it's not perfect by any means, but it will do the work. And I have already tried it out on a big piece of log and used it to shave off some bark. But I wanted you to be able to see it, so I happen to have in here with me this piece of cedar, and I'm gonna try to get this where you can see it. And anyway, as you can see, it's peeling that stuff right off of that cedar tree. Now the downside to cedar is it does clog up, and there's a pretty good sized little knot right there I didn't know was there. This happens to be a piece of cedar that I'm getting ready to turn, and I'm trying to let it dry for a day or two, because I want to turn it dry. I don't like turning them wet, because when you turn them wet, it leaves them hairy looking for a while. And anyway, and while I got you here, I'm going to show you a couple of other small items that I've been working on as soon as I can find them. And the one, you have seen pictures of it on the internet, and the other one, I don't think I have ever posted a picture or shown it to anybody other than family, and I can't seem to find it right at the moment. But this is the bowl that I made, and I've made a plate that came out of the opposite side of the same piece of wood, and that's what I can't find. I was going to show that to you, and it's kind of it's made from the Y in the tree, and so it's a rectangular looking plate. But anyway, I'm going to try to get this video up tonight so that you can watch it, and I'm excited about you seeing it. After I turned the camera off and went to lay that bowl down, I found this piece, which is the plate, and as you can see, it's natural edge, except right here. I don't know what happened there exactly. Apparently I've chipped it somewhere or another, but it's natural edge down this side. This is walnut, just like the bowl is, and as you can see, it was wet and green, and you see the fibers on it that was there, and I seem to have better luck. Here's what the bottom of it looks like. Just like I say, It's going to be a long rectangular plate, but I've got some more work to do on it. I want to get those fibers off. And it should be just about dry enough now because it's been sitting for quite a while. And I'll stick it in the microwave or something and try to make sure I got all the moisture out of it. But anyway, love you, brother. Bye. Yes, for just a few minutes, I want to talk about some things, mistakes that I made, mostly in the process of making this. Now, as you can see, like right here and right here, has not been welded, or has been welded but hasn't been smoothed out yet. And I'll do that probably just here in the next little bit. But there are some mistakes that I made while I was making this, and I believe with all my heart that as we make mistakes, that it gives us an opportunity to learn and to grow. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I have learned from making those mistakes what the consequences are and what happens, and therefore I don't want to make those mistakes again. So it gives me an opportunity to not repeat doing the same thing over and over again. In the process of making this, one of the mistakes I made, and not really a mistake, could have used some different methods. I worked this out with cold metal, and with the exception of the weld, that was really about the only, the 4 welds on it was really about the only heat that was used. I'm not a welder, and don't claim to be one. One of the things that I did learn through this process this time is my welding skills are better than I thought they were, which was a big surprise for me, because I did not have a clue as to how my welding skills would be. I was really expecting these to break right off, and they didn't, and I was shocked and glad to learn that. Now I have a little more confidence in what I do with welding. Another thing that I learned, I made these wooden handles. I turned them out on the lathe. One of them is actually, as you can see, is not centered, that was a process of me taking it off the lathe and cutting a hole on a different machine, and I wish that I had found a way to keep that going without having to take it off the lathe and then put it on a drill press and drill it out. That probably would have made it better. Also, I didn't get my handles exactly level. And this was made from an old lawnmower blade, which has some crooks and twists in it and such as that. And if I done it again, I would probably go in and I didn't want to heat it. I didn't want to hot work it with my forge. I wanted to do a cold work on it, because a lot of people don't have a forge and aren't interested in making forge work, and so I wanted to do this without that. And I have another item that I'm getting ready to make that's going to be very similar in so many ways to this, and I'm not gonna forge it out either. I'm gonna cold work it and get it where I want it. But one of the problems I found is my metal's not exactly straight. Now, some people will bark and say, well, or fuss and say, well, it's not perfect, it's not perfectly straight. I am making a tool for me to use. I am not making something, when I'm looking at this particular project, I'm not trying to make something here that I want to be perfect, to hang up on a wall. I'm making something to use, so I'm not really worried about perfection. on this. Now, most things I am. But this is my first time doing this, trying this. And I'm very proud of what I come up with um, for a draw knife. Something else that I did learn in this process, I tried grinding this to make it sharp on a grinder that's sitting right here beside of me, as you can see in the picture. And I tried grinding it out on it to get it sharp, and I found out that wasn't a good method for me. It did not work well for me. So I turned around and I have a handheld grinder. I ground some on it on that, and I found out that just for me that was not the way to go on this particular item. Now, I do have a sharpening system set up for my lathe, and I use it on those tools because there's things there that I cannot repeat those cuts on freehand. But I took a file, and that is how that I came up with the proper sharpening on this, was with a file. I filed it and got it very sharp enough that I'm leery when I touch it because I don't want to take a chance on cutting myself. Will it work for what I want it to do? Yes, it will. And like I have already tried this and on a couple of different pieces of wood, and it has worked well for me. So I know that it's going to work. One of the things, I welded these washers on to hold my handles on, and I've done that after the fact, or after the process of putting everything else together. If I was doing this again, I would not do that. I would go ahead and weld those on first before I ever attach the handles, and then I would go and attach my handle and get it welded on where I wanted it before I would the arms that my handles slide on. I would weld that on after I got these on here, and that would keep the heat a little bit farther away from the wood itself, because as you can see down in here, I really did get some burn areas that I did not want to burn. And you know, is it going to make a huge difference? No, it's not. And also, that's going to allow me an opportunity to turn a better fitting wooden handle to go over these metal posts that's sticking out here. That's going to give me a better opportunity to fit those better to where it slides down over the top of these big washers that I have welded on here. This has been a learning process for me, and I've learned a lot through this process. I have also learned a lot about the GoPro session that I am currently using, that you're actually watching this on. I'm going to try to insert some pictures so that you can see if you don't know what a GoPro session is. Now, overall, the camera quality and the sound, I love. All of that is excellent. What I do not like is the system by which the camera turns on and off, and how that it hooks to the app on my phone, because a lot of times connection gets lost, Wi-Fi connection drops, and also I have to use a separate device in order to see what I'm filming and to see that everything is going right. Like right now, you are right up there on the camera, and right down here below me is my iPhone that is connected wirelessly through Wi-Fi connection. It is connected to this, and that's how I am choosing what I see, and the angles and things of that nature. Now, a problem that I do have, as you can see, this is my garage here that I'm working in. It's actually supposed to be my wife's garage, but don't tell her that, she don't know it. But I am wanting to build me a garage, a work area where that I'm not crowded in, and also a place where I'm finding that I'm constantly having to keep this area just go over it and keep it clean, and to work on those things just simply because of safety, and also to have space to be able to work. That's something else that I'm learning from this process. I am learning how to use the camera. Believe I'd like to get a GoPro Series 5 or GoPro something other than the Session. Maybe use the Session as a second camera to give me different points of view or something of that nature. But not really liking it to use the way I'm using it currently. To say that it's a bad camera, I cannot say that. Another thing you notice I'm keep moving forward is I have to continually be touching my camera my phone in order to see exactly what I'm doing and to know that I'm getting the view correct for you all. I need to find a way to mount this iPhone on the tripod that y'all are on up closer to the camera, and that way I'm not looking down into the camera to see what's going on. I'm looking and addressing you all, and those are some things that I've learned, and I hope that you go with me on this journey. I'm going to make some mistakes, and I'm going to laugh when I do, and I'm going to pick up and I'm going to carry on and learn from them, and so that I don't do the same thing repeatedly over and over. I do all kinds of different things, and I just want you to enjoy and sit back and watch and get out and do some of these things yourself. You can do it, and I believe you can. I know you can. And I hope you have a great day. And thank you very much. And bye-bye.